Ever wonder what happens when a massive empire falls? Well, sometimes it doesn't just disappear, it transforms. Today, we're going to see how the incredible story of the Roman Empire didn't really end. Nope. Instead, it kicked off the rise of a new Rome, the Byzantine Empire. And believe it or not, it also set the stage for another giant, Russia. Let's dive in. Just think about this for a second. What if there was one city, just one, that sat right at the crossroads of Europe and Asia? And what if it controlled almost all the trade that flowed between them? Can you imagine how rich and powerful that city would be? Well, a city like that actually existed. It was called Constantinople, and it was the beating heart of a whole new empire. So, that powerhouse city, Constantinople, was the capital of the Byzantine Empire. The easiest way to think about it is this. It was the eastern half of the old Roman Empire that didn't fall. It survived, and it thrived. While the western part in Europe was crumbling, the Byzantines basically carried the torch of Rome for another 1,000 years. So how is this new Rome like the old one, and how is it different? Well, they definitely kept some key Roman traditions. They used Roman-style laws, had a Roman-style army, and were ruled by an emperor. But they also forged their own path. For one, they spoke Greek, not Latin. Their city was proudly Christian. And Constantinople, it wasn't just a capital, it was the buzzing center of world trade. Now, if you're going to remember one Byzantine leader, make it Emperor Justinian. This guy had huge plans. First, he went out and won back a bunch of the old Roman lands in the west, trying to put the old empire back together. Second, he created one single, organized set of laws. And third, he started a massive building boom, giving the world incredible churches like the Hagia Sophia. Let's look a little closer at those laws. Justinian's code was a massive deal. Imagine centuries of Roman laws all jumbled up, some of them confusing, some of them even saying opposite things. He had his team collect all of them and organize everything into one clear system. This was huge because it clearly defined everyone's rights and became the legal blueprint not just for the Byzantines, but for countries in Europe for the next 900 years. Religion was absolutely central to life in the Byzantine Empire. But over time, Christians in the East and the West started to do things a little differently. It all came to a head over one big question. Who's in charge, the Pope in Rome or the leaders in Constantinople? Eventually, this disagreement led to a permanent split. This created two main branches of Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church in the West and the Eastern Orthodox Church, which became the official religion of the Byzantine Empire. Okay, so the Byzantine Empire's influence didn't just stop at its own borders. Its culture, its ideas, and especially its religion started traveling north along the trade routes, and it reached a group of people known as the Slavs. This connection would end up shaping a brand new power in the world, Russia. One of the most important things the Byzantines shared was the written word. See, the Slavic people had their own languages, but they didn't have an alphabet to write them down. So two Byzantine monks created one for them. We call it the Cyrillic alphabet. This was a total game changer. It meant the Slavs could finally read the Bible in their own language, which helped spread Eastern Orthodox Christianity like wildfire. So let's trace Russia's bumpy road to becoming a major power. Early on, a state called Kiev and Rus got super powerful, mostly thanks to its trade with Constantinople. But then, after a strong leader died, all the princes started fighting with each other, which really weakened the kingdom. And that weakness opened the door for invaders. In 1240, Mongol armies came charging in from Asia and completely destroyed the capital city, Kiev. This changed absolutely everything. With Kiev totally wiped out, the whole center of gravity for the region had to shift. Power moved north, to a city that was once just a small town, Moscow. Over time, the leaders in Moscow got stronger and stronger until they were powerful enough to challenge the Mongols and unite the area into a new, independent Russia. So what did the rulers of this new Russia call themselves? They took the title Tsar. Now this is so important because Tsar is just the Russian way of saying Caesar. By taking that name, the Russian rulers were sending a clear message. They were saying, we are the heirs to the great Roman and Byzantine empires. Okay, we just covered a ton of history there, so let's just boil it all down. What are the two biggest ideas you should walk away with? First, the Byzantine Empire wasn't just Rome Part 2. Yeah, it held on to Roman laws and military ideas, but it also created its own very unique and powerful culture, all built around the Greek language, Eastern Orthodox Christianity, and its position as a global trade hub. And second, you just can't tell the story of early Russia without talking about Byzantium. The Byzantine Empire literally gave Russia its religion, its alphabet, and even its whole idea of what a government should be, led by an all-powerful emperor, or in their case, a czar. So let's zoom out one last time for the big picture. Why does any of this matter today? Why does this ancient history matter? Because the lines that were drawn back then, the cultural connections and the religious divisions, they helped create the cultural map of Europe that we still live with today. That split between the Catholic West and the Orthodox East shaped centuries of different traditions and ways of seeing the world that still influence things today. The legacy of these two empires is all around us. The past is never really that far away.